There exists a quiet type of person who doesn't seamlessly blend into the world's constant noise. They are listeners more than speakers. Observers of how light paints a room, contemplators of time's quiet passage. They sense the perpetual shift in all things. Their responses come with a pause, not from uncertainty, but from a mind weighing a dozen possibilities at once. These are the deep thinkers. Their home is the inner landscape of the mind. A single moment can unfold into an entire universe of thought within them. But this is not an easy way to be. Being a deep thinker is less about intelligence and more about sensitivity. It's perceiving the hidden layers most people walk past. It's a gift and at times a burden. To understand them is to understand the tension between their vast inner world and the outer one, the quiet surface and the storm beneath. For most, overthinking leads to confusion. For the deep thinker, thought is like breathing. It's how they process existence. They don't just see a tree. They see its struggle for light, its connection to the earth, a silent metaphor for life itself. A conversation is a study of emotion. A silence becomes a profound question. A glance holds a whole story. Psychologists call this high-trait introspection, the constant analysis of both external events and internal reactions. Their brain's default mode network, active during reflection and imagination, is a busy hub. It weaves constant connections. But this rich inner world can be isolating. While others react, the deep thinker observes. They pause. They notice. By the time they've formulated their nuanced thought, the conversation may have moved on. So they stay silent. This silence is often mistaken for disinterest. It is not. It is depth. They don't just want to talk. They want to understand. While many swim in the shallows of small talk, the deep thinker is diving for pearls on the ocean floor of meaningful connection. Yet this depth has a cost: overthinking. Replaying conversations, dissecting meanings, navigating a maze of what-ifs. They see nuance everywhere. Their mind seeks truth in a tangled web of possibilities. This is metacognition, thinking about thinking. They are perpetual self-observers. This brings great self-awareness, but also self-doubt. Every flaw is seen in high definition. They don't just ask, what do I want, but why do I want it? What is the root of this desire? They analyze until they can almost hold an emotion in their hands. In doing so, they can lose the simple joy of just being. They forget some things are meant to be felt, not understood. You'll find them walking alone, not from loneliness, but because solitude is their native language. It's where they process, untangle, and breathe. They may appear calm, but beneath the surface, emotions move like deep, powerful currents. Unseen, but shaping everything. Inside, they might be replaying a moment from a decade ago, not with regret, but with analysis, trying to map the geography of their own evolving self. They're cartographers of their own mind. This can make them seem detached, when in truth they are trying to view reality from every angle. This leads to existential thinking, questions about time, purpose, consciousness itself. It's not anxiety about the future. It's awareness of reality's fabric. The paradox. This pattern-seeking mind can also create illusions, connecting dots that aren't there. It's like a microscope too powerful. You see things not meant for such scrutiny. Yet this depth fuels immense creativity. Einstein, Da Vinci, Jung, they saw invisible threads connecting ideas. Their constant why leads to answers others miss. But modern life rewards speed and certainty. Reflection looks like hesitation. Complexity looks like confusion. So deep thinkers often learn to hide. They nod and smile while their thoughts wander galaxies away. The real dialogue begins when they are alone. This creates a unique loneliness. They crave real connection, but not everyone wants to dive that deep. So they stay guarded, observant. But when they find a kindred spirit, they don't open the door halfway. They open it all the way, sharing fears and hopes with raw honesty. This vulnerability is risky. Seeing the world in shades of gray, they expect others to as well. A small betrayal feels cosmic. A brief kindness can restore faith. Everything matters intensely. Every emotion echoes. They feel the weight of overlooked things. A stranger's averted gaze. The melancholy fade of laughter. They have depth processing. Memories aren't just recalled. They are refelt with all their original emotion and meaning. Nostalgia hits them like a tide. Studies show their brains have strong links between analytical and emotional regions. They think and feel simultaneously. Feeling is a form of thinking for them. This makes it hard to be present. Their mind exists across timelines, past, present, and countless possible futures. It's exhausting, but also beautiful. It allows them to see possibility where others see endings, to find meaning in pain. Even suffering becomes information, a teacher. The hardest lesson is learning when to stop thinking, to accept that some answers don't exist yet. That peace isn't found in answers, but in presence. It's about sitting under a sky that doesn't explain itself and still feeling its infinite awe, learning to live with questions and feel complete. The final stage of deep thinking isn't knowing more, but needing less. Not drowning in thought, but seeing clearly enough to float. You recognize them by the pause before they speak. It's not hesitation, it's precision. Words matter. They search for the truest version of their meaning. They listen to everything. Tone, subtext, the silence between sentences. They are detectives of emotion, reading micro-expressions and energy shifts. This makes it hard to stay blind. They see societal inconsistencies, the chase of illusions. They stop craving surface validation and crave truth instead. That's why they retreat to art, philosophy, solitude. Not to escape life, but to understand it. They need space for their mind to stretch. But their mind is never silent. It's like 10 radio stations playing at once. Silence for them amplifies the internal noise. This can lead to rumination, a search for closure that may not exist. The philosopher's dictum, "I think, therefore I am," can feel like a trap. Thinking confirms their existence, but can also consume it. They can analyze feeling until they forget to feel. Yet, at their best, they become bridges, connecting logic and empathy, intellect and intuition, analyzing pain while holding compassion for it. That is wisdom. They don't see people as good or bad. They see them as complex stories shaped by invisible battles. They forgive easily, but forget rarely. Their apparent melancholy is often just awareness, the understanding that beauty and loss are intertwined. They feel emotional complexity, joy and grief as notes in the same song. And they can be deeply funny. Humor becomes wisdom when you see life's absurdity. Laughter is how they hold a fragile world lightly. Their sensitivity means they absorb the emotions of the world. They sense tension, unspoken heaviness. This is why they need solitude, to detox, to reset, to restore their inner clarity. Without grounding, deep thinking becomes a spiral. The healthiest among them anchor themselves in reality through mindfulness, creativity, service translating reflection into something tangible. They are the curious ones who ask, why do we do this? Is there a better way? This curiosity is an act of love for truth, but it complicates life with empathy and multiple perspectives. In an age of instant opinions, they hesitate, not from indifference, but because they care too much for shallow words. They know complexity matters. Sometimes silence speaks loudest. To love a deep thinker is to engage in curiosity with them. Their love language is attentive understanding. They move slowly with trust, but when they give it, it's complete and conscious. They remind us that life isn't meant to be skimmed, that mystery has beauty, that asking questions is an act of wonder, not weakness. Deep thinkers, in their quiet way, are a light. They turn chaos into clarity, noise into insight, moments into meaning. Their depth is not a flaw in a shallow world. It is a gift. They honor life by thinking deeply about it, and in doing so, they remind us all to look closer, to feel deeper, and to cherish the profound complexity of being alive.